chị của giờ thời giờ thất thơ tu cái đó cái xe tiệt cho nên họ phát cho mà họ là mấy món của chị họ sáng cho cái đó tiền là chuyện thì tu hoa là một tu giàu nó xứ chị tu đây nó của khi mình chỉ mấy sao đó hắn cái cho bé sẽ ta cũng mà chơi là sẽ nhiều quá chỉ mà hai đứa bé tu thích ý cái đó tiền cái xe ở bên giờ chơi là đó số nó nếu cũng muốn về hồ Choutae na tất cái này cỡ tiền nếu có cỡ tiền nhớ là University of Wisconsin Whitewater họ này cỡ ở đây na nếu có cỡ cho business administration tất nhiên là có họ này cỡ đó này giờ họ là một sẽ chùa thì nên ở họ lử này giờ tôi là một ba đôi chân nên tôi ở họ lử xử lý thì thằng này tới cho này họ mua họ lử là biết hay cho thì HR này giờ này tôi cỡ là một đôi chân ở họ lử lên là ba cho đỡ hiện tại khả năng nếu cần tiền là thầu lúc chỉ đến tu ở xe cổ tất cả đều nếu có gì thì nó tất cả là một cần đỡ to nếu thì là một cần đỡ to nhớ là về University of Wisconsin Oshkosh nếu thì là cần tiền là master's degree nhớ là public administration thầu lúc chỉ đến tu cho nên go on là giờ khả năng giờ khả năng cần tiền tất cả là giờ nên là thảo bây giờ có thể giải tỏa Tsuj Teb ya kalau happy dulu bersama ya, macam mana?
Since he spoke in Hmong so well earlier, I figure I'd just do my speech in English. So if you guys can just bear with me with that. So first off, I just want to say hello to everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day, out of your busy schedule to come spend this day with me and my family to celebrate my dad's retirement as well as our graduations. I also want to start off by congratulating the other two graduates that will also be speaking today, as well as the other graduates that graduated recently over the past few years. We all made it through in our own way, and I think you should always cherish the time that you had in pursuing your degree. Then following that, I also want to congratulate my dad on his retirement and also his achievement in raising all of his kids. You know, I have to say, we weren't always the perfect kids over the years, or even the easiest to get along with, but your patience and perseverance, you know, has always encouraged us to be better people, and you know, encourage us to kind of pursue our passions in life. I also want to thank some people who could not be here today, but helped me through my time in my graduate program, specifically my mom and some of my other siblings who could not make it today, as well as my Uncle James. Each of them was crucial to my success, and I couldn't have graduated without their support. Just to kind of start off, my dad asked me to give a 30-minute speech. I told him I can't do that, but you know, you're more than welcome to do it for your speech. But I would be happy to kind of disappoint him again by not being like a lawyer or a millionaire. So I told him I could give him like 5 minutes. So primarily my speech today is to kind of share some of the things that allowed me to be successful as I went through my graduate program. Primarily 3 pieces of advice that I would love to share. The first being that whether or not you should consider success versus happiness as you look at your different choices in life. The second, in pursuing your passions and your dreams. And then lastly, just some words of advice for the future for everyone. On the question of success versus happiness, I think you need to ask yourself, do you want a happy life or do you want a successful life? You know, I think that you really need to think about that question carefully, and then I think you'll know what to do. You know, for me, thinking about that question made me think about, if I want a successful life, am I prepared for some unhappiness or some hardship? You know, as in my experience, success often comes with sacrifices. And then thinking on the other hand, if you want a happy life, you need to make sure that you can afford to do so. You know, obviously for those who know me well, I love to travel internationally, but obviously I can't travel internationally all year round. So obviously knowing that, being happy, you know, is definitely is a balance in that regard. So as some of you begin your careers, or you know, or for some of you also in the pursuit of higher education, I would encourage you to think about how you define success and how you define happiness, and see if it aligns with the path that you plan on taking. My advice, no matter however long it takes for you to find out, make sure you do it for the right reasons and make sure you are passionate about what you want to do. Spend the time to think about what will allow you to make that choice that will not allow you to regret it later in life. Think long-term in your planning for your life, and that should help you make the decisions for the short term. Often it's said that, making these type of decisions is similar to being in a relationship. Whether or not a relationship lasts or breaks doesn't always depend on how good you are or how good your partner is, but really whether or not you and your partner are a good match. My second piece of advice is in regards to pursuing your passions and your dreams. If I was to ask all of you, right now in your job, is this exactly what you thought you would be doing when you were younger? And how many would raise your hand and say yes? You don't have to raise your hand right now, but you can think about that question. But I think, as we kind of think about our various obligations and our responsibilities, what I found to be helpful is that when you go to pursue your passions or your dreams, you have to understand how capable you are. You have to be capable to be able to make a choice, and your ability matters the most in that regard. Obviously your ability won't make you the most well-liked person at your job. It won't allow you to get a promotion right away, or it won't even guarantee that you'll ever win the lottery. But what it does do is allow you to make a choice from the many doors that might be open to you as you go through life. I want to emphasize that, if you're not capable, then you don't even have the ability to make that choice. Kind of going on from that. Now, obviously, as important as your ability is, choices are also important. In that, even if you have the ability, if you keep on making the wrong choices in life, you'll never succeed. Obviously, the final success for this is that it's dependent on everything coming in harmony. So I would say, never doubt your own ability or what you are capable of, as it will always be valuable to you as you consider your many choices in life. And then lastly, I just want to end up with just some words of advice for everyone. As you go for an interview and as you go to have a conversation with someone that you haven't met before, my advice, the most important thing is leaving an impression and to feel like you are being remembered by that moment. When someone asks you, hey, do you like this song? Don't just respond by yes or no, but respond in a way that they can understand who you are as an individual, based off your attitude and how you express yourself. My advice for the parents whose kids often tell them or ask them how much you love them, follow this advice of asking from my own parents, who have often said to me, when I ask them if they love me, they said, "Uluka cha gu tau ku hai tau." For those of you that don't speak Hmong, that's just kind of say that you love them more than you can say. Obviously, that's definitely a certain way that my dad has always told me. I always ask him, how much do you love me? He's like, hey, I love you more than I can say. But he never put an amount or he never put a number on it. So, but other than that, I just want to thank my dad on his retirement, for his many years of service to the city of Madison, to my fellow graduates who are also going to be coming up to speak, as well as the other recent graduates that have talked. Thanks so much.
Trong xuyên đó Choutae ya, itu kena di appreciation kena ni dari master's degree. Iha kuan zime dia dari Choutae ni janji lu na hai jadi ku hati ni ku thời gian gần đó có sự sáng tạo phát triển của cái đầu tiên đó là của trong xe chỉ là sự họ cũng cần phải họ cũng nhẹ chấp lại hiện tại thằng cô tao họ ý họ đó là họ thì bé thời gian ý họ chỉ yêu điện thoại là yêu cái yêu mà họ chỉ xe để lấy bỏ yêu rồi yêu của tôi họ dùng cái này chẳng chỉ là của là thà mình chỉ đi na cho nên họ này cái tiền thế này sao bỏ họ muốn mình chỉ được khi là bé đây tu họ chỉ đã tạo bao nhiêu cái là chỉ đã tạo cái là xin na yêu trong đó rồi Choutae ya cái tu cái tiền xin na trong chế độ cái giờ luôn đó